Hello, Puna here again from RoPost. I'm the product manager of GeoPro and I have some new features to share with you today. Address Books has gotten a facelift and has now incorporated a lot of new features that has made it extremely easy to use, not only for users and administrators, but also allowing the ad hoc contacts and features to be applied to distribution lists and rules. So I'm going to show you the new features and the new additions to the service, as well as what it looks like from an administrative and from a user perspective. So right now what you're seeing is the landing page after you would successfully log into your GeoPro solution. Right now I'm an administrator, so I'll be able to see the administrative features indicated by this wrench called admin here. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'll see all the devices and all the users that are associated with those devices and whether they're active and when they've been added. If I wanted to make a change to the address books associated with this tenant, I click on address book indicated by this blue book icon, and immediately you'll see the changes that have taken place. So instead of just looking at your distribution list rules, you actually have a third tab called contacts. From here I can actually create ad hoc contacts, standalone contacts that represent individuals. So if I wanted to do that, I would click on add a new contact, and I would add a name. So our new contact is named John Smith, and I can actually apply an email, and I can add another entry representing the SMS, and I can add another entry representing actually the IMEIs of any other satellite device that might be associated with John Smith. But for now I'm going to add an SMS and email. I'm going to save that change, and then you'll see John Smith populated in my list of ad hoc contacts. From there I can actually apply John Smith now to a distribution list. So I'm going to add a new distribution list, clicking the add a new distribution list button here, and I'm going to say test, and from there I click on add entry, and now I can actually select from my contact list indicated by this drop down. I'm going to select contact, and from this drop down list it'll pull all the information from my ad hoc contacts. Now you can see John Smith is actually broken down into two different contacts, one representing the email and one representing the SMS. The reason that this has been done in such a way is that you might want some notifications being directed towards an email account versus some notifications being directed through an SMS account. So for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to add both John Smith's email and SMS, because this distribution list, for example, will be tailored towards SOS messages. So I save that change, and now I have a distribution list with John Smith's both contact points included in this distribution list. Now I've created the distribution list. Now I have to actually apply a rule as to when this list of contacts will receive a notification. So I'm going to click on the rule tab, which is the third tab, and then add a new rule. From here I can actually select the type of devices that are affected or that will be governed by this rule. So I'm going to say all the inReach devices. And continuing with my example, I'm going to say when an emergency message has been received from this device, and I'm going to select, if I scroll down, I'm going to select the distribution list that I just created, test DL1. So right now this is saying all the inReach devices currently within the tenant, every time it sends an emergency message, test DL1 or John Smith, both email and SMS, will receive a notification. And I click add rule. And there it is. Now it's governing that distribution list, governing when John Smith receives an email or a notification via email or SMS, indicating that one of those devices have sent a notification and an SOS. So that's what the administrative view would look like. The user view doesn't change substantially. If I were to select a specific device, this is what the user would look in terms of the address book enhancements. So instead of going through the amend side, I'm actually have a option within the landing page called address book. So if I click on that, it'll populate all the address books associated with this current device. So right now I don't have any contacts that I've created specifically for this device, so I'm going to add a new contact, and it'll be John Smith again, and we'll add his email as well as his SMS. And there he is now in my contact list for this particular user. If we go to distribution list, we can see that there's a distribution list already created for this particular user called away, and it has some contact points that this person actually created for this for their own device. If we wanted to add a new distribution list, we can actually call it a test DL2, and from the contact dropdown we can actually pull information that has been created by the administrator. So a lot of these contacts have been created by the administrator and populate to me as the user within that tenant. So the administrator can populate and create contacts and then allow me to create my own distribution list based on the contacts that the administrator has created. So I'm going to add John Smith's email as well as his SMS. And I can do that through the contact dropdown and adding it there. So I click on save changes, and there it is, test DL2. And now I can apply a rule. Similar to how the administrator applies rules to devices that they manage, we can apply a rule to this device as well. So I'm going to add a new rule. Make sure every time I send an emergency message that the appropriate distribution list is sent. So you can see other distribution lists are created by the administrator. My distribution lists are the ones that I've created. So I'm going to say test DL2 gets a notification, add the rule, and it's just that simple. So now every time I send an emergency message, test DL2 or the distribution list 2 will receive a notification. So in this case, it'll be John Smith's both email and SMS address. And that's summing up some of the changes that have taken place in GeoPro within the address books functionality. I hope it makes it a lot easier to use to apply contacts both to distribution lists and rules, and to really ensure that from an enterprise perspective, we're all leveraging the same contacts and ensuring that the contacts are correct. I hope this was helpful, and if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to support@roadpost.com, and we look forward to helping you and deploying GeoPro within your environment. Have a great day.